Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain silent for the minute of silence.
Falling to you.
Good morning, Chantilly. I'm Jameson Brewer.
And I'm a Himalayan. Today is Monday, October 5th, 2020.
And here are your weekly announcements.
There will be a field hockey interest meeting today at 1 p.m.
The Computer Science Honor Society will be holding an interest meeting Wednesday, October 7th at 3:15 p.m. Please use the Google Classroom code below to access the interest meeting.
Any student who wishes to take an AP exam for a subject that he or she is not enrolled in must contact Miss Pringle by Friday, October 23rd. Her email will be in the description below. The cost of each additional test is $95. No late registrations will be accepted.
Within the past couple months, there's been a spotlight on school names with problematic origins. Let's go to Kayleen for more.
Due to recent attention, FCPS has been re-examining school names all across the county. Let's take a closer look at Lee's Corner, an elementary school in the Chantilly area.
There was a petition created by a girl named Hannah this year. It kind of blew up, and since there was other talk about other schools being changed and like this was a big issue, it was kind of weird that nothing was really done about it. I really thought something was going to change because it was something that a lot of people disagreed with. So none of us really knew or thought about it. Like, it was always kind of something I was curious about, and I was just like, why Lee's Corner? I don't understand, but like nobody ever really addressed it.
So I first got involved when I saw the news that the statue of Robert E. Lee in Richmond was proposed to be removed. But then when I saw that, I was like, isn't Lee's Corner also named after Robert E. Lee? And then that's when I made my petition. I started sending my petitions to some of my friends. And some people got skeptical about changing the name. And they said that the name would never get changed, or it's just a name, like you shouldn't make a big deal out of it. But for me and a lot of other people, Lee's Corner does represent a whole family that owned slaves and profited off of them and thrived off of white supremacy.
Glorifying people like that is just not something I personally agree with. And seeing that it's been done with other schools and that it was easy for other schools to do it, I don't know why they can't just do it with like a elementary school.
If you want to learn more or sign the petition to rename Lee's Corner, links will be in the description below. This has been Kaylin Rowell for the Nightly News. Now back to you.
Next is Tareen Tashfeen with how birthdays were celebrated during quarantine.
While adjusting to our new normal during the coronavirus global pandemic, let's take a further look to see how our Chantilly Chargers celebrated their birthdays during quarantine.
Hi, my name is Joshita Nandakumar and I'm a sophomore. My birthday was on August 16th. Quarantine affected my birthday because I couldn't see anyone. On my birthday, it was just my family and I. We just ate food, we had cake, and I just took pictures. It was very normal, actually. I obviously couldn't see my friends, I couldn't go out, it was pretty different in that aspect.
Hi, my name is Utara Das, and I'm a junior, and this year my birthday was on March 21st. And quarantine affected my birthday because I had a bunch of Sweet 16 plans and they got canceled because social distancing laws were really new back then. Instead, the way I celebrated my birthday was basically going out with my family to Washington, D.C. because the Cherry Blossom Festival was also happening on that day. And we stayed inside because Corona was really new back then. It was definitely different from my past birthdays because I usually celebrated it with my friends, but this past year I couldn't really do that because of quarantine.
Hello, my name is Caroline Young. I'm a sophomore and I had a quarantine birthday. My birthday is April 11th, so right around that time, quarantine was still new, so most people were staying home, things weren't open. So we celebrated at home. It wasn't really that big a deal, but next year when I turn 16, it's gonna be a bigger deal because I'm supposed to go to Paris, but I don't really know how that's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work, which is unfortunate, but you know, safety comes over baguettes. It was different from other birthdays because we normally go out for dinner and whomever's birthday it is gets to choose. And a lot of the time I go to the Cheesecake Factory. I'm a creature of habit and I love cheesecake, but we couldn't do that. So we had our family friend come over who comes over for every birthday. He's family. As great as it is staying home, I prefer to go out because I can see people, I can see my friends, which is always fun. But it was definitely not how I envisioned my birthday, but I mean, it was great.
This has been 3/3 for the Nightly News. Now back to you.
Now, over to Lizzie with student activism.
Recently, many world issues and the movement surrounding them have gained attention. Here are some student activists who have participated and have their own stories to tell.
I think student activists definitely can make a difference just based on the sheer number of us that there are. If there are issues in the world that you care about and think are important, speak up. I think activism can be as small as working on your own lifestyle or improving your own lifestyle in relation to different causes. When I was thinking about student activists, it reminded me of in middle school when a bunch of walkouts were planned for gun violence. Sometimes they were silent, sometimes kids shared like poetry or whatever. Or some people might think, what can a group of middle schoolers do to change something? But I remember at my school at Carson, a news crew showed up and was interviewing students, and that shows the power of student activists, even just in middle school.
I involve myself in the Black Lives Matter movement. The ways I try and involve myself are signing a lot of petitions and donating money. A lot more people should work to become activists because the more people that there are in a movement, the more efficient the movement can become. I feel like activism is really important. I feel like some people are afraid to speak up. I feel like it speaks up for the little guys, you know? I feel like as students, the best that we can do is just spread the word. You know, tell a friend or two, and that way the movement becomes bigger and it becomes stronger.
I think you should become an activist in order to lobby for new policies. There are definitely times when, you know, I think the country is more peaceful, it's more quieter, we're not so divided. Right now, there are so many things at stake and there are so many things happening in our world currently that so many people are fighting for. I think it's very important, especially in a country like ours, where we have rights that not so many people over the world have.
This has been Lizzie Stone, Carolina Mascote, and Mary Sherman for the Nightly News. Now back to you.
Here's Wasim with an insight on Canada and how they are handling the pandemic.
As you guys can obviously tell, this is not Virginia. I am actually right now in Ontario, Canada, and for the past 2 months, I have made it my goal to find out what is the COVID situation here. And the results are actually a bit surprising. Alright, so the good folks at cbc.ca have done a fantastic report on coronavirus, which I'll be using for today's segment. So, when we're talking about COVID cases, obviously the elderly are hit very hard, as coronavirus has been targeting mainly that age demographic. But as time goes on, we see that 20 to 29-year-olds have also surged with COVID-19 cases, actually outnumbering the elderly. Experts claim that the reason behind this can be due to many, opens with the provinces in Canada, colleges are coming back into full swing, and there's expanded testing going on in Canada. I also forgot to mention that Canada has over 143,663 cases with over 126,905 recoveries. So, what was that all about? I mean, sure, it's important to know what's going on around the world and stuff, but how is this geared towards us, the Virginians? How is stuff from Canada can help us out? Well, see, since Canada's been doing really well with their numbers, maybe we should try and learn a thing or two from them. Don't you think so? I asked some interviewers the same question, and here's what they had to say.
They've been very sloppy, they've not cared, and they've not bothered with the quarantine and closing places, and it's been bad.
Alright guys, that's it for coronavirus cases in Canada and how the United States should learn from their mistakes and triumphs. I'm Wasim Shakir, reporting for the Nightly News, and I'm signing off.
Let's go over to Noah for winter sports.
With the upcoming winter season, let's see how our athletes are preparing for the season.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a senior on the wrestling team. Basically, we're doing conditioning. We're not able to do full contact or really wrestle, get in the wrestling room or anything. So we're just doing outdoor conditioning, making sure we're staying separated, not getting anyone sick, but doing what we can to stay in shape and prepare for the season. It's a lot harder to condition for wrestling. You can't actually get in the room and wrestle, so we have to do just a lot of running, a lot of cardio to try to stay in shape.
So I've been preparing for winter track by running over the summer with some of my cross-country teammates, and we've been running since like June. So we're going to take a couple-week break from running in early November, and then we're going to start up again in late November to start running and preparing training for winter track. This year the season's a lot different, and even though it's still in the winter, normally we have competitions from early December through mid-March, but this year we have competitions from late December through only like mid-late February.
My name is Raymond Creeks, and I'm a sophomore. To prepare for this season, we've been doing a lot of track workouts for meets and such, and we've also been taking some easy days to like help our legs recover. The main difference between last year is, first off, we gotta wear our masks when we're close together and in bunches, when we're training on school grounds. And we've also been having to, if we want to go with our masks off, we have to stay 10 feet apart while we run.
This has been Noah Johnson for the Nightly News. Now back to you.
Well, that's all we got for you today, Chantilly. I've been Jameson Brewer.
And a Himalayan, reminding you to stay positive, stay safe, and have a great week.
And we'll see you next week.